there is a photograph. You have probably seen it. A young man, half blonde hair, tattoos crawling up his neck, eyes that are not afraid of the camera. It is a mugshot taken in a Florida booking room on a night when everything should have been over. But here is the thing about that photograph. It did not end him. It made him. And the same darkness that produced that image never left. The darkness was patient. It had learned to wait. You are 18 years old and Florida already knows your name, not the way a state knows the names of its celebrated sons. The way it knows the names of people it has already started processing. Juvenile detention twice, street fights, a home invasion charge, a file that will follow you into every room you ever tried to enter cleanly. You are not a villain in your own story. Nobody ever is. You are a person who grew up in environments that taught you specific lessons about how the world works. The problem is that you are going to carry them into rooms they were never designed for. Then there is the music. And this is real. This is not performance. This is the one place where everything inside you that has no other exit finds a door. You start releasing songs on SoundCloud late at night. There is something in the music that people recognize before they can name what it is. A specific kind of pain processed into something you can play at 2 a.m. when your own life feels like too much. Slowly, then faster. The numbers climb. You are building something real from nothing. From a file folder in a juvenile facility. Then there is a show, a small venue. You are performing and in the crowd there is a girl. She is watching you the way people watch when something real is happening on stage. After the show you talk and the conversation has the quality of two people who have recognized something in each other before either of them has decided what to do about it. You start spending time together, then more time, then she moves in. And for a period, a real period, things are good. The world sees two people at the beginning of something. The world does not see what the music has been trying to say all along. Here is what the world does not see. You have been carrying something since before the music. Bipolar disorder. Diagnosed young. Depression that has weight you can feel in your chest at specific times of day. Anger that does not arrive with warning. That comes from somewhere older than the present moment. That responds to things that are not threats as though they are threats. Because somewhere in the formation of you, your nervous system learned to read the world as more dangerous than it is. And a nervous system that has learned that does not unlearn it because someone loves you, does not unlearn it because the music is working. The formation is older than the wanting. And so the relationship begins to fracture. Not all at once, not dramatically at first. The way things fracture when the pressure is internal, slow, incremental, each incident small enough to be explained away, until the pattern is too large to deny. Jealousy that has no logic. Anger that arrives at the wrong scale for the thing that triggered it. And then one night, everything crosses a line that cannot be uncrossed. She is hurt. She needs medical attention. He knows what medical attention means for someone already on probation. And so begins the 2 days that will define everything that comes after. 2 days, a closed door, a phone taken away, the specific imprisonment of someone who cannot leave. Because the person who hurt them is afraid of what living means for him. Not for her, for him. This is the detail that the story turns on, not the violence. Violence in stories like this is almost expected, which is its own horror. The detail is the calculation, the decision made in the aftermath of harm, to prioritize the continuation of freedom over the ending of pain. That calculation is what the public story never quite covers. That calculation is what lives in the dark long after everything else has been addressed. Then a moment of distraction, a screen, a game, and in those 30 seconds, a door opens and someone crawls out and a phone call is made and the car arrives with lights, and the calculation that was supposed to protect him produces the exact outcome it was designed to prevent. Handcuffs, a booking room, a photographer, a flash. He looks directly into the camera, eyes that are not afraid. He does not know yet what that photograph is about to do. While he is in a cell, the photograph is traveling. Someone makes a decision that should not make sense. They take the booking photograph, the mugshot, the image of the worst night, and they put it on the music. And the music starts moving, not trickling, moving. The mugshot becomes the face of the song. The song becomes the face of the moment, and the moment becomes the face of him. Not the him in the cell, the him in the photograph, the one with the eyes that are not afraid. Here is what is strange about that photograph. It should have communicated danger. A booking photo is designed to communicate that a person has been processed. But something in that specific face communicated something else entirely. Realness, unmanaged realness. The face of someone who had not been told how to stand, or what to do with his eyes, or how much of himself to manage for the camera. He gave the camera everything because he did not know he was supposed to give it less. And the internet, which is very good at detecting the difference between performance and truth, responded. 6 months later, he walks out, still on probation. The domestic violence charge is still moving through the system. The legal weight still attached to every step. But the world outside is different from the world he left. Record labels have been calling. A $6 million contract is waiting. He went into a cell as an underground SoundCloud rapper with a file that judges stopped reading before the middle. He is working out as something the industry has assigned a number to. $6 million, the same number that is supposed to mean the version of the story where everything changes. He signs the contract, and then in 2018 something shifts in him. He goes on social media and he talks about his struggles, about wanting to be better, about what he has put people through and what he wants to be instead. He donates money. He encourages his fans toward good things, and whether you believe it or not, something about it looks real. The way the music always looked real, because with him the thing underneath always came true. But here is what the public story cannot cover. The legal case is still moving, and the past refuses to accept the new narrative. Both things are true at the same time. That is the specific horror of a person who is genuinely trying to change, while the past refuses to accept the new timeline. Then a Tuesday or a Wednesday, the day of the week does not matter to the story. What matters is that it is an ordinary day, the kind of day that does not announce itself as the last one. He goes to the bank, he withdraws $50,000, he puts it in a bag, a nice bag, the kind of bag that belongs to the version of the story where everything changed. He drives to a motorcycle dealership. He does not know that two men in the dealership have noticed the bag. He does not know that they are already making a calculation. He walks through the dealership. He is having a good day. The bag is in his hand. And in the dealership, two men notice the bag. They can see some of the cash, and they are making a calculation. The same kind of calculation made in a bedroom 2 years earlier. The decision to prioritize something over someone else's safety. The world inside the building is still the good day. The world outside the building is already the world after the decision was made. He just hasn't walked into it yet. He walks out, he walks toward his car, the SUV moves, and in the seconds between when it moves and when everything changes, there is a moment, a fraction, where the body knows before the mind does that something is wrong. His body knows. He does not let go of the bag. This detail matters, not because it was the right decision, because it tells you something about who he was at the deepest level of formation. A person who grew up in rooms that punished backing down. The formation older than the money, older than the music, older than the mugshot, making the decision before the mind could intervene. He does not let go. Then the parking lot is just a parking lot again. The SUV is gone. The bag is gone. The afternoon light is the same afternoon light it was before. A police car arrives, then another. Security camera footage is pulled. Faces are identified. Social media posts of a man waving stolen cash make identification easier. Arrests are made. Mugshots are taken. 3 of the 4 men involved are eventually sentenced to life. The 4th takes a deal, 7 years. The machinery of justice moves with the efficiency it reserves for cases that are already solved. Here is what stays with me about this story. Not the violence, not the legal battles, not the mugshot or the streams or the $6 million. What stays with me is the timeline. The domestic violence case was still in the system on the day he walked into that dealership. The witness tampering charge was still being processed. The accounting of the dark keys was still incomplete. And on the day the public version of his story looked most like a redemption. On the day he was buying a motorcycle with cash in a designer bag, like someone who had actually made it out. The darkness that had been waiting in every room he'd ever left was waiting in that parking lot too. Not metaphorically, literally. 2 men who had seen the bag, who had made a calculation. The same kind of calculation he had made in a bedroom 2 years earlier. The darkness does not care about your redemption arc. It does not read your social media. It does not update its records when you decide to change. It was patient. You cannot change your public story fast enough to outrun your private one. The posts about growth, the charity, the openness about struggle, all of it real, all of it insufficient. Because the private story, the one written in files and bedroom doors and calculations made in the aftermath of harm, does not update when you post about it. It waits, and it has always been better at waiting than you are at running. The public version of you travels at the speed of a post. The private version of you travels at the speed of formation, and formation is always faster. The mugshot traveled further than the music did. That image taken on the worst night, in the worst light, in the worst room, became the face that millions of people attached to the name. Not the face from the tour, not the charity face, not the face from the live where he talked about wanting to be better. The booking room face, the formation face, the face from before any of it happened. The world decided that was the real one. And maybe the world was right, not because people don't change, but because the photograph captured something that all the subsequent photographs were trying to manage. The unguarded vision, the one that existed before he knew how much was at stake. Before you leave this story, sit with one question, not about him, about the vision of yourself that exists in private, the one that doesn't make it into the post, the one that exists in closed rooms, in the calculations you make when nobody is watching, in the things you have done that the public vision of your story has not yet had to account for. Most of us never become famous enough for the private vision to be tested against the public one. Most of us live and die with the gap between them never fully exposed. He did not have that protection, and the private vision was never finished with him, not on his timeline, on its own. You cannot change your public story fast enough to outrun your private one. That is the whole story. Not the music, not the parking lot, not the photograph. One sentence. The public vision of you travels at the speed of a post. The private vision of you travels at the speed of formation. And formation is always faster.